watching?
A point where I could, I don't know. It's so bizarre and strange, it's hard to describe. A place where I could collect my thoughts and feed my obsession.
When the bodies were still in your apartment, there was no time when you would see them and say, "This is grotesque. What have I done?"
There were times, but the compulsive obsession with doing what
Watching the corner of his mouth during that time where he's saying there were times, it starts to creep upwards lightly. This is a sign of contempt, moral, or intellectual superiority. I don't believe that Dahmer has any level of moral superiority in this, but he could still see himself as having such, or just the intellectual superiority of it. Regardless, that really falls in line with Dahmer, this superiority, domination thing, if that makes sense.
I was doing overpowered any feelings of revulsion.
Before you went out to pick up a man, was there any kind of ritual you went through?
I'd go to the nightclubs, drink, watch the striptease shows, and if I didn't meet anyone at the bars, I'd go to the bath clubs and meet someone there, offer them money, and we'd go back to the apartment, have a few drinks. I'd have the sleeping pill mixture already prepared. Person would drink it, fall asleep, and that's when they would be strangled. I felt so hopelessly evil and perverted that I actually derived a sort of pleasure from watching that tape.
Did you like feeling evil?
So what I'm watching for in this area as he's talking about these things is to see if there are any micro or mini expressions of disgust slipping into his baseline, to see perhaps maybe he does feel some disgust at least towards the actions that he's done. So he's saying verbally that he felt so evil and perverted that he enjoyed watching, and I think it was The Exorcist 3 was the tape that he's referring to here. But I'm not seeing that reflected elsewhere. For a little bit, he does a pretty substantial and large lip compression and furrows his eyebrows and closes his eyes all in one deal, and that would be considered a grimace. That's the closest that I could see towards disgust towards his actions. But for the most part, he doesn't seem to have any negative repercussions in his psychology about his actions. Still just very, it's different.